At the end of the last fanfiction reading, I said that we were going to have something different. And this is a bit different. Bumblebee Kittens by wolfboy7106. A story about Blake and Yang finding a litter of kittens and taking care of them, and some other problems along the way. Some whiterose, and in this book, even though I think Sun's a cool wingman, my cousin decided that I need to make him a douche. Good, I'm glad. It is technically not finished, which is a problem, but the last part was uploaded almost a year ago, according to when I recorded this, because, it's October 1st, so, minus one day, but it's time that we go and read, because, we may not be able to get through this. Oh my goodness, why am I down here? Okay, Bumblebee the Kittens. It was the middle of the night and Yang couldn't sleep. She decided to take a walk. She jumped off her bed to find that Blake was up reading. She decided to ask her if she wanted to go with her. Hey kitten, would you like to go on a walk with me? Blake said nothing in response, so Yang assumed that was a no and started walking to the door. Wait, I'm coming, Yang. I just wanted to finish this chapter. I knew you would give in, Blakey. Blake got up, quietly not to wake her teammates. Once Blake got up and walked towards Yang, they latched hands and started walking out the door and down the hall. They finally get to the edge of the forest, get to the edge of the Forever Falls forest. As Yang goes to sit down, she sees Blake's cat ears twitch under her bow and a worried look on her face. Blake, what's wrong? Are there Grim? Yang asked worriedly because they didn't have their weapons. Maybe not a smart idea in the middle of the night. No, actually, Yang, it sounds like a crying cat. I'm going to investigate. I'm going too, Blake. There's no way you're going into that forest at night without me, Yang said sternly. Blake didn't care at this point. She heard a cat crying, so she wanted to help it. Jeez. They adventured more into the forest with Blake's cat ears going crazy as they came closer. When they got to the spot, they found something that pained Blake to see. They found a mama cat lifeless with a hole in her stomach and a litter of newborn kittens squirming about and meowing, which is disgusting. Looks like a Grim got the mom, Yang said, trying to figure out what to do. Blake looked back at Yang, her face emotionless, but in golden eyes you could see pain as if she lost a family member, which Yang could understand on a level. Yang, we have to save the kittens. They'll die out here. You could hear the fear in her voice, which surprised Yang. Yang nodded. With that, Blake bent down and gently picked up the kittens and began to walk back. The reaction. Yang's POV. Blake and I were getting close to the room. I've never seen her so focused on something else than a book, but I can understand why they were newborn kittens. I think I remember Osmond saying something to me about if we ever found kittens to never get in between Blake and kittens or cats. I don't know. I need to pay more attention when people besides Blake or my sister talk to me. Just as we reached the door, the sun started to rise. Blake looked at me and the kittens and just smiled. So every time I see that smile, my heart stops. We walked into the room and found Weiss and Ruby sleeping on their bed, but they were 1 centimeter from falling off. All of a sudden, Blake hit the wall, knocking off Weiss and Ruby, landing in a tangled mess on the floor. They started complaining. You dolt, why'd you take me with you when you fell off? Weiss said, trying to get up. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Weiss, Ruby said, giving her the puppy eyes. You know I can't stay mad at you, you dolt, Weiss said, happy again, but just as that was over, they looked at us. They were going to get angry at us for waking them, but Blake snapped when one of the kittens started crying. You say another word, I'm going to throw you out of the room, Blake said, gritting her teeth. This is the most emotion Blake has ever showed to anyone but Yang. They were surprised and scared, so they stayed silent. Yang, give me your pillow and some blankets. Then grab my bag, please, Blake said as she sat on her bed, never letting the kittens out of her arms. Yang obeyed while Ruby and Weiss were trying to see what all the items were for, but Blake's arms were blocking their view. Will someone please tell me what's going on? Weiss said in a quiet whisper, trying to get answers but not make Blake mad. We went out for a walk but found a family of cats. The mom had got attacked by Grim after having kittens, so Blake's catting instinct took control. So they're the new members of the family, Yang said happily while handing Blake the stuff she wished for. Wow, Ruby and Weiss said together. Okay, I said I was happy you guys couldn't have kittens, but you didn't have to prove me wrong, Ruby said with a smirk. That got an elbow in the ribs from Weiss and a glare from Blake. Hey, your sis is starting to turn into me. Hey sis, you're starting to turn into me, Yang said, laughing. It's not a good thing, Weiss and Blake said together. Everyone busted in a laugh until the kittens started crying again and everyone fell silent. Blake remembered them and set them in my arms. I've never been more scared of dropping something in my life. I didn't know if it was because of the fact if I dropped them they could die or the fact that my little kitten I love so much would turn into a demon. Blake ripped open my pillow, took a little stuffing out, then placed a blanket over it, creating a bowl shape, then placed the rest of the blankets around it, creating a border. Oh, it's a cat bed, Ruby said, thinking out loud. Yeah, give me the kittens, Blake said as she went back to her old self, completely emotionless. Hold on, look at this. They look and act like us, I said, as I said that you could see Blake get a little mad but calm down. Everyone circled me to look at the kittens. See, this one's yellow like my hair, and it's cuddling a black one like Blake's hair. And then there's this one that's all white, like Weiss, cuddling with this red tinted one like Ruby's hair. I explained to them, pointing to every kitten. Wow, you're right, I guess we got the kitten versions of us, Blake said, as she took them and placed them in the bed. So what did you need your bag for, Blake? Weiss asked, curious. I have formula in my bag with a bottle, Weiss, to feed the kittens, Blake said as she started mixing the formula together. Why would you just carry those things around? Ruby asked, confused. I used to go and find lost animals in the forest and take care of them, so I started carrying this type of stuff with me, Blake then started feeding them, starting with the white one, then the red tinted one, next the black one. As she was feeding this one, Ruby and Weiss were on Weiss's bed talking, while I was on the end of the bed. The tiny bottle was almost gone when I spotted the yellow one on Blake's chest suddenly bite down. What, Yang? Ouch! I'll let go, Blake squeaked at this point. Ruby, Weiss, and I were on the floor rolling around laughing our butts off. Blake put all the kittens back, but as soon as we stopped, we were about to get off the floor, she said, "The little yellow one is definitely Yang. She's going to be a troublemaker." Blake looked at us, emotionless, but then she burst out laughing with Weiss, Ruby, and I following. Oh boy. Mama Belladonna. Yang's POV again. It's been a couple of days since we got the kittens. No one has been in our room besides us, but because of that, Team Juniper has gotten concerned for us. Blake asked us not to tell anyone so they don't know yet. Ruby is trying not to blurt it out, but she's so happy you can see her shaking with excitement. Weiss has an obsession with animals, so she doesn't mind. Then something snapped me out of my thoughts, and I ran into Team Juniper's door. Well, they walked out right away because that alerted them we were here, but instead of turning around to go to the gym with them, Nora pulled us in. Okay, guys, what's going on? Why have you not let us in your room, and why is Blake never in class? Nora asked, all detective-like. Well, we can't tell you, Ruby said cautiously. Why can't you tell us? Why can you not tell us? We are your friends, Pyrrha said, concerned. Wait, Blake said we couldn't tell them. That doesn't mean we can't show them, I said with a smirk crossing my lips. Everyone looked excited besides Weiss, but that's just Weiss for you. Oh my god. Going against Blake's word is not going to help you get any of that Bella booty, Nora said, giggling. I'm not going against it, I simply found a loophole, which is completely my style. My smirk grew on my face as I stated this fact. We all got up with my last comment and headed to the door. Once we got into the hall, Velvet came up to us and asked if she could see Blake. We all said that's what we were doing. Or that's what we were going to do, so she could just tag along. Okay, guys, I would like you all to be very, very quiet as you enter, and I would like to introduce you to the new members of the family. I said this with excitement apparent in my voice as I opened the door. Everyone squealed besides Ren. He's just Ren. As we walked in, I saw Blake was curled around the cat bed asleep like she was protecting the kittens. It was super cute. Aw, they look just like you guys, John said with tears in his eyes. See that one? See that one? The white one? She's nicknamed Ice Princess. All she does is complain like Weiss. I said as the smile on my face grew wider. I do not complain, Weiss said angrily. Just then, her kitten started to cry, which awoke Blake. I'm dead. Blake's POV. My cat side has took over along with my motherly instincts ever since we got the kittens, so when I heard one start crying, I woke. All I could see was a kitten and something in front of it super close. Without thinking, hissed and scratched it on the face. My vision cleared and I saw everyone in front of me. Then Velvet came into view. I scratched her cheek. Oops. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Velvet. I didn't mean to do it. It was just instinct. I started panicking, knowing Coco was going to kill me for hurting Velvet. It's okay, Blake. I shouldn't have been so close to the kittens. It's okay, Velvet said, touching the wound with a rag Ruby gave her. Yep, Yang definitely not getting any as long as those kittens are here, Ruby said, surprising everyone. I just smirked because I knew it was true, or at least for as long as I could control myself. Oh, Ruby, I knew my fate when we ran into those kittens, but that's the wrong spelling of fate, by the way. When we ran into the kittens, but I couldn't stand to see Blake suffer knowing that she could have helped those kittens, Yang said, sadly. I was touched even though I knew what she was doing. I still got up and gave her a kiss. Yang, you dog, you really love Blake's, but I cut Nora off by showing her my newly sharpened claws. She backed away and put her hands up. Everyone started giggling. Now I'm sure you aren't here for me, so I'll show you the kittens, I said with a sigh. Everyone squealed at that, even Ruby and Weiss. To be honest, the only one who has held them or got a good look at them besides me is Yang, so they wanted to see them up close. Okay, so this one is like Ruby. She tries to eat anything slightly sweet and likes dangerous things, but she also likes to cuddle with Weiss's one too. Black one, it's like me, it'll curl my chest when I read, so I have to read out loud. And it likes to cuddle with Yang's. By the way, where is Yang? Ouch! I found hers. I swear this kitten has bit me in the butt more times today than I can count. I said with a sigh. Yep, that's definitely Yang's, said John, making everybody laugh. But besides that, she gets mad easy, loves everything, has fluffy fur, and loves to cuddle with mine. Oh, come on, I said, ending the introduction to the kittens. Well, Miss Belladonna, it seems you got quite a litter there. I see Professor Osborne was at the door. All I could think. Crap. And, it looks like we are not even close to halfway through. Well then, Blake's POV. Crap is all Blake could think. There was a rule at Beacon that anyone to have kids during their time there was to have the kids sent to their grandparents' house. I mean, Blake knew they weren't hers and Yang's kittens, but would she still have to give them up? Which, obviously, seriously, that isn't how faunas work. So, I mean, at least they're saying, that they did say before that they couldn't actually have kittens, which is pretty true, but I don't know why this would ever be like, hey, this could possibly happen. So, whatever. Well, Miss Belladonna, by the look on your face and by the way you're hiding kittens, I'm assuming you have heard of our rule here at Beacon, Osmond said, after sipping his coffee. Yes, you are correct, but I can explain. As you see, I started but got cut off by him. I know who you got them, and I know about everything in my school, Osmond stated. Then why are you here if you're not going to take them away? I stated worriedly. I simply tell you that everything you need will be in the nurse's office. You too, Velvet. With that, he left. Why do you say Velvet too? I looked over at Velvet to see her standing there, being stared at everyone with a blush on her face. Velvet, what was he talking about? I got up and walked over to where we were in the middle of the circle of friends. I came to see you because I need to ask you if you will help since you're the only other fauna I know, Velvet said calmly, but with worry and joy apparent in her face. She grabbed my hands and placed them on her stomach. 1 kick, 2 kicks, 3 kicks. I looked up at her and she smiled. I squealed and hugged her. Of course I'll help you. Congrats, I said after hugging. Thank you, Blake. I needed to know because they're due in like a week, even though I don't show it. Coco's been keeping me on bed rest and is driving me crazy. She's out on a mission today with the team, so I took the chance to come see you. Velvet said with a smile. So you know if they're faunus or bunnies? I asked because I remember her telling me there's a chance that Coco has faunus cells, so even though she's a human, she could still have a faunus baby. I mean, it's not quite how that works. I mean, it's official that if Coco were to be a faunus as well, and if she wasn't a rabbit faunus, then it would be a completely random faunus, which is kind of weird. But if she were a rabbit faunus, then it would be still a rabbit faunus. Like, they are still humans. They're not going to make, like, actual animals. I don't know. I asked because whatever. Yes, I do. That's why Professor Ozpin said that they're bunnies. I believe there's 3 or 4, Velvet said, putting her hands on her belly. Yang's POV. As I was watching this, I only had one thing go through my mind. Why does Velvet need help? And from a faunus? Hey guys, mind telling us why a faunus would need help from another faunus? Sean said, beating me to the question. Blake looked at Velvet as asking if she wanted to answer. All Velvet did is blush and cover her face with her rabbit ears. Guess Blake was going to answer. When a faunus gets pregnant, they will change into their animal for the delivery. But if that doesn't happen, they should have someone there to help them. It can't be the partner because the mother changes into a whole other person and will harm the partner for putting them through all the pain. Also, their strength increases, so if they wanted to, they could break concrete. This is to help with the pain by keeping the mind on their new strength, but once it's over, they go back to being themselves. The only other person that can control a faunus is another faunus, Blake said calmly, even though that is a terrifying fact. Everyone was stunned that this little rabbit or cat could turn into a devil. I didn't mind it, but I'll dread and hope for that day, but it's not a big deal. But suddenly Velvet got scared and I found out why. Velvet Adele, you're getting punished when I find you, Coco's voice rang. The whole school must have heard it. Adele, when that happened, Blake teased. Velvet started to blush even more. It hasn't yet, sadly. She just likes saying it, she said. Just then Coco stomped into the room and everyone moved out of the way fast. They knew what happened to anything in between Coco and Velvet. Why are you not in bed? You should be resting, love, Coco said, calmly, acting like that scream never happened. Because I had to ask Blake that question. I want to see her kittens, Velvet said happily, trying to get on Coco's good side. Coco looked confused, but then she saw the kittens. She awed at them and then turned to me and placed a hand on my shoulder. I looked at her confused. Sorry, pal, looks like you won't get none, Coco said, acting sad, then started laughing with everyone but Blake and Velvet. Blake just slapped Coco and Blake gave everyone a glare so they would shut up. They did. Well, we must get going. See you soon, guys. Bye, Coco said. Everyone said bye, but just as they were walking out, Coco grabbed Velvet's butt, so I had to tease. Hey, Coco, make sure to give her punishment. Then Coco yelled back that she would before she got her hand off of Velvet's butt with a smack in the head. Oh boy, this is going to be a problem. Okay, well, this has been going on for too long already, so I think I'll have to split this into 2 parts. Next time we come back, we will have this paragraph or these like ending paragraphs here, and then the rest of the story, because I don't want like this thing to explode and lose everything that I've done so far. So that's it for now. Next time is the second part.